Here's exactly how to recruit UX participants in your next UX step. Hello and welcome, Nate from Userlytics here. Really appreciate you watching the video. I got a really exciting and really important information for all of my UX researchers out there. We're gonna be going through exactly how to develop an effective screener to source targeted participants in our UX steps. I get a lot of people asking me questions about this, so I wanted to record just a quick video here. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, first, before we start outlining questions in our screener, we need to clarify the personas. First, outline the target audiences. Now, it may be useful to reach out to your marketing team, maybe some of the salespeople in your organization to understand who is your product or service for. Who do we want to attract when we're thinking about conversion and navigation and things like that on our website? Who is the ideal customer that we would like? And that's who we're gonna build our screener around. Now, it can be useful to create fictional personas for these people. I'm gonna show you an example of that in the next slide, so stick with me here. But again, just make example customers with habits, values, and different demographics for, again, your ideal person. Now, having these clear personas is gonna allow for effective screening in our studies. All right, excellent. Now here's an example of a persona. Now this is pretty specific. You don't necessarily need to get this specific, but it is a good idea to get particular in your personas. That doesn't mean that's exactly who we're gonna recruit for in the study. So the example here is we have Mary. Mary's 35 years old, stay-at-home mom, 2 kids, living in Seattle, Washington, shops weekly for groceries, likes discounts. She's loyal to her local store and doesn't really veer too much into different products she doesn't know. She's active on social media and enjoys outdoor activities with her 2 beautiful children. All right, so again, a good idea to get specific like this, but that doesn't mean we're gonna get this specific in our screen. All right, another good thing to keep in mind is we want to identify the specificity needed in the study. So for example, do we need to get really targeted, or are we okay with a little more of a broad market? Now I have 2 examples for you to kind of explain what I mean here. In usability testing, broad matches are likely a little bit better. Now let me tell you why. So for usability testing, we don't always need to get super targeted, because regardless of whether someone's our ideal customer or maybe just generally related to our market, if they come to our website and we do a usability test, they're probably gonna give pretty similar feedback, because it's maybe not so specific to the exact need of our industry. So by going a little more broad, it's gonna help speed up recruitment, but it's also gonna probably make the recruitment a little cheaper, especially if we're using a third-party recruitment service. All right, but on the other flip hand, right, if maybe we're doing some more generative research, it's not the only example, but it's a good one. We maybe wanna get a little more narrow, that we need very targeted feedback in order to proceed with our research or to get research or feedback that's relevant to our study. So maybe we need to go a lot more narrow. This could extend our recruitment time, and it could also mean that it's gonna be a little more expensive. So keep these in mind when you're actually going to create your screen. Hey, real quick, Nate from Userlytics here. Thank you so much for watching the video. Just wanted to say, if you need help building your UX studies or you want to scale your UX research team, email me right now at nbrown@userlytics.com so that we can get connected. I'm always here to help, and it's free to get started. Now let's get back to the video. All right, congrats, we've made it to the actual screener. We have everything identified. Now it's actually time to create the screener. Now, dive in deep with me here, lock in, because these are all super important tips in order for you to have a really quality screener and actually get the participants you're looking for. All right, first, avoid yes or no questions. I can't stress this enough. Yes or no questions are not necessarily bad a little later in your screener, but if you're going to be like your top disqualifying items or your top filters in the screener, please do not use yes or no questions. Okay, so here's for an example. Let's say we want someone who shops often online. We do not want to ask them, do you shop, let's say like 5 times a week, or do you shop often online, yes or no? All right, try to avoid that. What we want to do is give them options and have the right choice be the one that qualifies. So for example, which of the following, or how often do you shop online per week? And we say like once per week, no times per week. I don't shop online 3 times or more, 5 times or more. And then the one that we want passes them along. This just helps us not be so obvious in our screener. And also it's just going to give us a little more targeted feedback for the participants. All right, next, add red herring questions. This is a really advanced technique. So if you're not really sure how to do this, reach out to me. I can help you build these. But they're gonna be a little bit of like trick questions in the screener. All right, now we don't wanna get too crazy with this, but do understand anytime we're using a third-party recruitment platform, like a panel or some kind of recruitment service, you have to understand that the participants are being paid to do the research, so they're very incentivized to get through the screener. This won't be everyone, but again, it's ideal that we're giving some kind of trick questions. So for example, let's say we're gonna ask them, which of the following companies do they use? We'll say obvious ones like Amazon, eBay, whatever relevant to the study, and then we'll add a few fake ones in. And if they're selecting that they use the fake companies, we know that they're probably not being truthful and those will disqualify. Okay, now we're talking about disqualification questions. I would encourage you to limit your disqualifiers. Definitely no more than 5. I would say 4 to 5 is probably max what you'd want in any one screener. Now again, this can definitely vary depending on the type of profile you're setting up. It can definitely be less as well. But 4 to 5, if you have more than this, then it's gonna have too many layers. So I like to describe recruitment difficulty in layers. As we include more layers, it becomes more difficult. So for example, let's say we're looking for nurses. Okay, we need a nurse profile, so that's gonna be one layer, people who are nurses. Okay, but then we start adding on new layers. We say, okay, this person needs to actually go into the office more than 4 times per week. They need to actually interact with patients virtually, so telehealth, and they need to specialize in one certain field. Okay, so we went from nurses to like very specific nurses by adding like 3 more layers. So just want you to be careful, don't add too many layers. It can just extend your recruitment time and sometimes can make it much more expensive. All right, last one. This is a little bit optional for you, but a good tip, use info-only questions. This would be non-disqualifying questions. So it doesn't matter what they answer, they would pass through the study. So a good example of this would just be collecting demographic info in the screener. Now, if you're doing moderated sessions and you're doing moderated sessions in a platform like Userlytics, this is a super high technical, definitely try this out. Just add a bunch of info questions, and when you get that info, you can see that before the participant joins the session, and maybe it kind of changed your approach, right? So based on what they answered in those different demographic questions, we can go ahead and change our approach based on maybe like platforms that they use or different tools they use or frequency of something. Use these to get a little more information about your participant before they join the session. Okay, I know that was a lot for me today, but that's all for this video. You should be able to now create your own screener and have it be super technical and get really good participants in your studies. Okay, so it might not be a bad idea to go back through the video, but if you want to connect with me because you have some questions, a couple different ways, shoot me an email, nbrown@userlytics.com. That's the best way to contact me. I'm always really fast to respond and happy to answer any questions you have about how to create a screener. You also have my phone number. This is my direct line, 786-508-1715. Give me a shout in case you ever just want to talk really quickly about UX, or maybe you're looking to get started with Userlytics. I have a couple of social medias that I post videos on almost daily. It's UX_Nate for Instagram and TikTok. Definitely check me out there for those daily videos. I also have a YouTube as well, which is probably where you're watching this. I have a lot of other videos. Check those out. Again, UX_Nate. I hope this has been super useful for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. I hope it was super insightful for you. Just wanted to say one more time, if you needed help with anything related to UX, email me at nbrown@userlytics.com so we can get connected. Now, until the next video, I hope you have the best day ever.